Miami-Dade County Couple, 1980, Miami, Florida. This one takes place in Miami-Dade County. A black male and a black female were found in the water off Miami Beach on March 30th, 1980. They believe that the female was 18 to 30 and the male was 40 to 50. Both had black hair and brown eyes. The man was noted as having a mustache. She was 5'4", which is about 162 centimeters, around 116 pounds, or around 52 kilograms. If she was 18 to 30, her date of birth would be around 1950 to 1962. She had nails that were painted red, and she was wearing a yellow skirt and a yellow, white, and blue blouse, as well as a white metal watch, hoop earrings, and a metal ring with a black stone. The man was 5'6", which is around 170 centimeters. He weighed 138 pounds or 63 kilograms. And this would place his date of birth for the family missing him as 1930 to 1940. He had on a yellow short-sleeved button-up shirt with what's described as burnt sienna colored pants. And for anyone who doesn't know, that's sort of an orange-red color. He had on bikini-style underwear, and on it was a pattern of chess figures. So chess was probably something he was interested in. Her DNA is available. However, they tried to process his, and it was deemed insufficient for profiling. Hopefully, once she's identified, it will help identify him. The Miami-Dade Jane and John Doe, 1980, has gone unidentified for 43 years. Donna, 1971, Miami, Florida. On April 19, 1971, a woman was discovered buried at Southwest 195th Avenue and Old Cutler Road in Miami, Florida. She was most likely white or Hispanic and around 5'4" to 5'8", or 170 to 176 centimeters. They believe she was likely 18 to 25, and that would place the missing person's date of birth at around 1946 to 1953. Her bra was a brand named Belinda, which was manufactured in Cuba, so it's possible she has family there. She was wearing what's described as a shift dress, covered with pink, yellow, and green flowers. It also had buttons on the front, as well as a heavy knit multicolored cardigan sweater. She had brown hair and was described as heavyset. She had a deformity in the bones of her upper vertebrae, which may have affected the way her neck moved. When Samuel Little was arrested, he confessed to taking her life, and he said he placed her in a shallow hole in the ground. He's confessed in over 90 cases, and as awful as he is, much of what he said has eventually been proved true, which is why I feel like I have to mention him here. She is one of the drawings that he made, and when confessing, he said her name was Donna, or possibly Sarah, saying she was between 25 and 35. So if what he said is true, that would change her date of birth to 1936 to 1946. Donna Doe has gone unidentified for 52 years. If you are at all interested in helping crowdfund John and Jane Doe cases, I've provided links to the DNA Doe Project and DNA Solves below. Both of those allow you to pick the cases you help fund. Japanese Garden Girl, also known as the Watson Island Jane Doe, Watson Island, Florida. The Japanese Garden, which is where this case starts, is located on Watson Island in Florida. It's a beautiful location that was built as a tourist attraction. Locally, it was well known at the time for being a common place where romantic encounters would happen. Across the street from the gardens was an area of grass that ran through an access road. An employee was passing by and discovered on the grass a woman who had been hit by a car. This was on February 3rd, 1981. She was a young black woman whose age range is what you see on the screen now. She was given the nickname of Japanese Gardens Girl, and they are looking not just for her name, but as for who hit her. Her injuries were pretty bad, and she'd been drugged by the vehicle. She was barefoot and only partially clothed. Her jeans and high heels were found in a different location on the island. The authorities would eventually conclude that she was thrown out of a vehicle prior to being drugged and then run over, so it wasn't an accident. There were actually a lot of different injuries that were inflicted by this event. How it all ties together, though, is questionable. For instance, some have suggested her injuries could be from a second vehicle, although that seems pretty unlikely. She was run over twice, though, so it's entirely possible it was 2 different vehicles. They aren't sure if she was a victim of SA, and they say it's possible she was a working girl, suggesting she might have upset a client. I don't like that because it feels like it's blaming her. They've shifted her age twice, at the midpoint for a teen. Sorry, I can't say it or YouTube shuts off my comments, but it originally started if you took away 3 years from the midpoint of a teen as the lowest age. Sorry to talk in code. If they shut off my comments, it tanks the whole video. And there's no way to protest, even though the reason they do it has to do with bullying. It doesn't actually apply to my channel. My listing of the possible dates of birth are now based on the updated range, which you can see on the screen right now. That would make her date of birth around 1961 to 1969. And it's believed she was on the younger end. She was just 5'2" or 158 centimeters tall, and just 90 pounds or 40 kilograms. It's possible the people missing her might be missing someone older, and it's just not known for sure, and it was guessed as being younger because of her size. The young woman had brown eyes and medium-length brown hair that was described as kinky with bleached streaks. Though some of those accounts differ, and no one knows for sure because a lot of the paperwork on this case was lost. It's noted that it's possible that she had pink highlights in her hair rather than bleach blonde streaks. Her eyebrows are described as arched, saying they were either styled or painted on. And I'm sure your first thought is like mine, is you can tell the difference between styled and painted on. But it appears that the detail was lost with the paperwork over time, so nobody knows for sure. They do know that she had a gap in her teeth and some scars on her neck. She was wearing blue chick jeans that had the words "Wet Dreams" written on the back pocket. She had Town and Country brand high heels, and her bikini underwear said "Rest Area, Visitors Welcome." If anyone has any idea what happened to her or who she was, please call the number on your screen. The Japanese garden girl has gone unidentified for 42 years. The Miami-Dade County Jane Doe, January 1988. This case just states she was found in Miami, Florida, in a vacant lot underneath a trailer. They don't indicate what kind of trailer it was or how long it had been there, so whether it was something on wheels that could be moved, like a truck or a fifth wheel, or if it was under a single or double wide actual trailer, I don't know. But either way, whatever it was, had been abandoned on the property, and it's possible somebody else had lived in it once. And just my own thoughts, if it was an actual double wide trailer, it could have had skirting that would hide someone. Why this matters is there's no post-mortem interval given at all, and it's listed in a way I've not actually seen before. So this makes it impossible to know when she was born or when she went missing. They don't normally leave that out as they did here, especially since she was skeletal and found in January of 1988. So obviously she went missing in 1987 or earlier. But unfortunately, this is the case with a lot of them where they don't have a lot of information that was retained regarding finding the Jane or John Does. So unfortunately, this is one of those that was lost over time. And of course, by the time it was entered into NamUs in 2017, nearly 30 years had passed. We do know she was white and had mostly gray hair with some light brown, possibly placing her between the ages of 40 and 60. But with the lack of idea about how long she was there, it's just a guess that her date of birth was 1928 to 1948. It's possible it's earlier than that. But this is the latest she could have been born, if those age estimates are right. They believe she'd given birth to at least one child, so it's possible there's a son or a daughter out there looking for her. She also had prior abdominal surgery, which they list as likely being the removal of her gallbladder. She was probably around 5'3" or 162 centimeters. Her COD isn't listed, but the fact she was underneath the trailer might indicate some sort of foul play. If you know anything at all about this case or who she might have been, please call the number on your screen. The Miami-Dade County Jane Doe, 1988, has gone unidentified for 35 years. Huge thanks for watching all the way to the end, and a big thanks to all of you who consistently like and comment on the videos. Whether you leave a full comment or an emoji, it makes a huge difference. The whole dance with YouTube is hard sometimes. I gain only about 350 subs a month. So if you consistently watch my videos, maybe take a moment to subscribe. It's a huge push toward the videos being suggested to new people. The next goal is 20,000. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other.